There it comes. There it comes. Paige King Johnson is with us. Give you a little idea of the new single. So listen up just for a moment. I know she thinks I'm nuts.
When I pour my cup of coffee and watch that sweet sunrise, catch a bite to eat before I kiss him goodbye. For another day as I head off to that 40-hour job, I thank God. When I put my car in drive on an old familiar road and get to live a life in this town that I call home, I can't help but see my roots. They run deeper than I thought. I thank God.
And I thank God. And I thank God that I've become friends with this young lady right here. And no stranger to the Skip Happens podcast. I know it's been a little bit, but she looks great. Welcome back, Paige King Johnson. I feel like I'm on stage going, ladies and gentlemen.
I know. Well, hey, whenever things hit big, I'm going to be calling you up. I'm going to be like, hey, I need somebody to bring me on stage every night.
Well, you know what? I'll be there for you because we have actually become friends. I don't know how many years ago it was now, but you came through. We're based in Syracuse. So you came through on what they call a radio tour as a new artist, independent artist. And that night, do you remember what we had to eat that night?
Pizza.
And wings, exactly.
And wings, yeah.
And your mom was with you.
Yes.
And you came into the pod zone and we got to know each other and we had pizza and wings and we did a podcast.
I know. So much fun. And it was in 2019, Skip. So it feels like a bajillion years ago. Yeah.
It does. Oh my God. It does, but it doesn't, Paige. It seems like
I guess COVID made everything super long, but also very short in the same time.
COVID kind of did a lot of good and a whole lot of bad. So,
yeah.
I mean, all that, there's some good things that did come out of it. But obviously, you've been pushing forward. You've had a lot of changes in your life. I know you recently got married. It's going to be your first Christmas together, correct?
Our second, actually.
Second. See, time flies.
Oh.
What was that? Did you do that?
No. You know what? I think there's something up with my computer that thinks I need to have a party every time I hold my hands up, because that is the third time that has happened in the past 2 days.
Do it again. What'd you do?
It might not do it in.
So I said something about, hey, congrats, you're married. It's your first Christmas together. And you went, no, it's 2.
It's 2. It's our second one.
It still didn't happen.
Oh!
Paige, I have never, all the time I've been doing a podcast.
I need to look into that.
I think that's awesome. But if I didn't know you, I'd be going, okay, she's messing with me. But I know you, so.
You know me well enough to know that I do not know how to do that on my own.
Well, you said it, I didn't. So, oh my goodness. You've been just moving forward, doing a lot of things. I mean, put the pandemic to the side a little bit, but I'm trying to think the first song, Whiskey. What was that? We were playing it on the Watered Down the Whiskey. And I absolutely love that song. And then we've been, you had what was the other? No, I don't mean to say I forgot, but it's just not on the.
No, you're good. Yeah. So after Watered Down the Whiskey came Just Like You, which was a nice little love song that I actually wrote about my husband when he was my boyfriend still.
Mm-hmm.
And then came, gosh, I can't even remember. Maybe Baby Don't, I think.
Baby Don't. That was the one I was thinking of. Baby Don't. Yeah. Exactly right.
We've had a lot of years together. We've seen a lot of stuff together there, Skip.
Yeah, we have. Yes, we have. I'm just waiting for the balloons to go up again.
I know.
Let's have another celebration. But now you got I Thank God. Yes. And what a great song. We heard that as we opened the podcast today. Let's talk about that a little bit. How did that come about and where's it going?
Yeah, so I wrote this song with my friend Mike Astrakan. We've been writing together in Nashville for years. And we wrote this song back in July of 2022.
Mhm.
He came in, typical day. We sat and talked about life for 45 minutes. And then I said, well, what do you want to write about today? And he said, well, I have this idea I wanted to bring to you. Um, and he said, I thank God. And I was like, yeah, I don't really care what else you brought today. I think that's the song that we're going to be
Yeah, I
writing.
like it. Yeah.
And and so we really just kind of came at it at a very humble approach of just, listing out things that we were blessed with in our lives that we most certainly didn't deserve. And, kind of just as a thank you letter for those things. And, I think, people say a lot that you never realize how blessed you are until you do start really like listing out the things and saying them out loud.
Right.
Um, and that was kind of one of those days, and we finished the song in like an hour and a half, and sat back and we were like, wow,
That's it.
like, it was kind of a gut punch to us of a reality check of like, you need to step back and be thankful for even the simplest of things that you have in your life. And after we did that, I kept thinking, I kept playing it out a little bit at places, and everybody would come up to me afterwards and they're like, that God song that you sang, is that available anywhere? And I'm like, no, but I'm guessing by the amount of people who keep asking me, it probably should be.
Yeah.
And so we took it into the studio, and I really wanted to, I'm all about letting songs stand on their own
Mhm.
anyways. You got to have good words and good bones for a song, but I wanted to kind of build it up into this like choir kind of a sounding at the end of the song. And so you can hear that kind of towards the end of it. And that was really special to
And
me.
how long that was recently though, right? Just
Yeah, we released it right around the day after Thanksgiving.
right. But when did you actually write it? How long ago?
July of
Okay.
22.
Okay. So it
Mhm.
was a little bit,
Yeah.
a little over a year. So,
Yeah.
see, I don't think people realize that it just doesn't come out right away. It could be something
Oh
you've
yeah.
done, a year before, or even a couple of years, or even more. And now it's
Oh
just
yeah.
coming to light. But see, and then you get the reaction of people. And then you go, the light bulb goes on, goes, I got to put this out. You wrote
Right.
that, you said in an hour and a half.
Hmm.
Now, how often does that happen that you write a song in 1 hour and a half?
Not very often. I mean, I would say usually we spend a good 3 hours chugging away at a song at least.
Mhm.
Some songs take a little bit more love than others. But I would say 3 hours is the general consensus, that most people take. And then if they need to revisit stuff later, they will. But yeah, this one just really just kind of felt like word vomit that was coming out, and it just
Right.
kept coming and kept coming. And when it starts flowing like that, you're like, okay, please don't breathe, just let it keep coming.
I don't know if I like the word vomit, but still, I'm
I
just saying.
know.
I know, but we get your point. And yeah, it's like me in radio. There's a lot of word vomit sometimes.
Right,
And it
yeah.
just flows. Sometimes it's good and sometimes it's bad. But in this case, it's very good. Yeah. So we mentioned earlier you got married just recent. Well, it's your second Christmas together, and you set off the air. You closed on a house today.
Yes.
And now, how was that? You sit around a big table and just watch the papers and the checks go from one to the other to the other to the other. Isn't
Yeah,
that crazy?
thankfully, my husband is a real estate agent, so he
Oh, there
knew
we
how
go.
this was all gonna go down. This was my
Yeah.
first time ever, being part of the process of buying a house, so I was like, "Wait, what just happened? What are we doing?" And they're just, like, passing back and forth. I'm like, "Did I just sign away my whole life?"
Sign here. Been there a
Yeah.
few times. Absolutely. And you watch the checks go from one person to the
Yeah,
next, and it's like, ooh, that
yeah,
am I ever going to see it again? But you will.
I know.
If your husband's a real estate agent, it's a great investment. So you can't go wrong there. Now, I don't want to get too personal, but how long have you known your husband? And you
We
dated
met
for a while,
we
obviously.
did. We met in 2017.
This is a test,
I know, yeah,
Okay.
yeah, you're really
So
I
if
like,
he's
"Honey
watching, this
honey,
is
don't
a test.
watch and know how long it took me to figure that out." No, we met in March of 2017.
That's awesome. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
But
Um,
we do feel like old friends, even though we've only
right.
been married for like a year and a half, but we've been together for over 6 years.
I
So
love it. I love it. So you got to know each other pretty well. So it's
yeah.
good. And then, the commitment was there. So I'm so proud of
Yes.
you guys. So proud to know you. Um, so are you pushing the song to radio?
That's still up in the air, we wanted to I wanted to get it out into the world and let people be able to
Sure.
have it so it was out of my hands, and we're getting through the Christmas push right now because everybody's jingling and jangling and decking the
Jingling
halls.
and jingling and
Yeah.
jingling. Yeah.
So,
Absolutely.
we'll see what the new year brings, you never know.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, I think it could happen, and I think there's a lot of potential with that song from somebody that's been in the business for a little bit, and I hear a lot of different music. So, and I've been a believer since day one when we first said hello. So, yeah,
Yes, you have been.
exactly, and that's not going to go away because I believe in the artists like yourself, the independent artist, which there's more independent artists now than ever. Uh,
Mhm.
I think they all just want to do their thing, and I think a lot of that was COVID.
Yeah,
Yes.
absolutely.
Have we
Yeah.
talked since COVID?
I feel like we did one of these
I'll have to go
during
into my
COVID.
yeah, maybe we did.
Yeah.
Maybe we did. And I
Uh,
also, noticed you're big online. You've been doing your 12 days of Christmas.
yes.
How cool is
Yes.
that? Is that fun?
It's a lot of fun each year, and people are always like, "How do you remember to do that?" So if you're watching, you're getting inside scoop here, okay?
Okay. Shh, don't tell
I
anybody.
video all the videos at once, and then I post them every day. People are like, "Dang, you sit down every single
Peter!
night?" I'm like, "Yeah, no, I don't have that much commitment." So, no, it's always a lot of
That's cool.
fun. It gives me a reason to decorate our house a little bit early for
Mhm.
Christmas so that I can sit down and film all that. Um, but yeah, it's a good way to get me in the Christmas spirit, but it's harder than you think. I think pure listeners of music, they enjoy Christmas music so much because they don't hear it all the time,
Mhm.
all year round. Normal people, they don't hear it all year round. And but for musicians, it's really tough with Christmas music. Because most Christmas music, unless it's like countryfied,
Mhm.
has so much instrumentation in it. And a lot of like orchestral instrumentation
Oh,
and
that's
brass instrumentation that, normally isn't used in an everyday band. But on top of that, we don't play this music all year long either. So whenever it comes time to start learning Christmas music, we're like, dang, I forgot how this song goes, or dang, I forgot how to play this song. And what were the words again? So it's tough on us
yeah,
around
it is.
Christmas time with all this Christmas music.
But you always give it your own spin.
Oh, yeah.
It's
Yeah.
you and your guitar, and you're gonna make it work. So it makes it a little bit different, which is nice. It's
Yeah.
unique. It's
I
unique.
make some country versions of songs that may not really have country versions.
That's the page I know. We're gonna do it this way. And it's because of your country background, though.
Yeah.
I mean, you've been brought up on Merle Haggard and people
Yeah.
like that, artists like that, and also Patty Loveless. She
Yeah.
play a big part. No, Pam Tillis. Pam
Yeah.
Tillis
Mhm.
played a big part in your life too. Can you talk about that a little bit? I know we have in the past, but let's
Yeah.
kind of revisit that.
Yeah, I mean, first off, I was a '90s baby, so Pam was all over our TV screens whenever I was little, and, Saturday mornings, I was perched up in front of the TV watching CMT Hot 20 Countdown, and Pam was all over it.
Yes.
And then right when we released Just Like You, I think it was around maybe October of 2020. No. Yes, October of 2020. And my team, a person on my team, he had worked with Pam in the past a little bit, and um he was just something about the song made him think of Pam, and he was like, "You know what? I'm just gonna send this song over to Pam and just let her know what you have going on and try to, make an introduction, and maybe, she can share the song with some people or whatever." And
Mhm.
um, all that turned into Pam hearing the song and loving the song and believing in me as a songwriter and as an artist. And truly, jumping head first into the Paige King Johnson bucket. And she came on as the director of that music video and
Wow.
had never really done that before and
Mm.
was willing to kind of just figure it out as we went along because she believed in me and wanted to help me out. And so, um, that was the first music video we did together, and then she truly just became like, the aunt in country music that I never had, that I always wanted. And she's been such a great influence on me, just in the realm of writing songs and picking songs, as well as, styling and branding and all that kind of stuff. And um, I'm so grateful to her
Do you
for that.
you still keep in touch,
Oh yeah, I was on the phone with her yesterday.
Oh, jeez. Hey, okay. Yeah, we're doing lunch next Tuesday. I don't.
Yeah.
And you
It's
go.
it's insane, honestly. Sometimes, like, when my phone lights up and Pam has texted me or called me, I'm like, "Is this real life?"
And do you feel when you get a call from somebody like that that's been there and back again, do you kind of feel intimidated by all that?
I mean, I definitely, whenever I first started working with Pam, there was a lot of fear of like, "Oh gosh, I don't, am I
Yeah.
wasting her time? I need to act like I have it together. Is she going to look at me as this little baby artist and think, oh, she doesn't know what she's doing?" Um, and that lasted for a little bit because we connected during the pandemic. And so, um, we like chatted over the phone for probably 2 months before we ever met in person. And, it's hard to read a person and get to know them just over the phone. And so
Right.
the first time I finally met her, I was like, I feel like I should probably know you, but I still had that, like, you know, re the fear came back into me. I was like, "Oh gosh, I'm meeting Pam Tillis. Like, what is happening?" But now, whenever she calls, I'm like, "Hey, girl, what's up? What are you doing?" you know?
You're like her granddaughter that she never had, or maybe I don't
Yeah,
know.
I know.
That's so
She's
cool. Or aunt, you said aunt. So
yeah.
that's yeah, I totally get that. That's so cool. What a great relationship. And to have somebody like that on your side.
Oh yeah. I mean,
Oh,
she's seen everything, and she's been one of the best mentors for me ever because
mhm,
she knows what it's like to be a young woman in this
mhm,
industry, and
yeah.
the hurdles that you have to go through and the things you have to do. And so, she's constantly, giving me these little stories and little pieces of information that have been so helpful to me.
Mhm, mhm. Thank God.
Yes.
I thank God.
Really.
I'm just saying, that's the new single. If you're just coming on or you're watching this whenever, make sure you check that out. It's called "I Thank God." It's Paige King Johnson. What kind of tips would Pam give you? Can you give me an
She
example?
is she is very much so firm in the fact of learn who you are, learn what you want to say to the world, and build your brand around that, and don't let
Mm,
the people on the outside with their, little thoughts and opinions influence you to be something or be someone
right, right.
that you're not proud of and that you wouldn't want portrayed into the world. And so, um, she's been very instrumental in helping me really like concrete my brand and what I want to say and how I want to look when I say it and all the things. And I don't think people who aren't in the music industry realize how important that is for an artist. Because there's a lot of music coming out these days, and there's a lot of people singing music these days.
There
And so
is.
to be able to establish yourself and differentiate yourself from somebody else, it takes a lot of heart work to figure out, okay, well, who am I first? And then how do I want that to be portrayed to other people so that they understand it too?
Mhm.
And she's, so passionate about that and has been so instrumental in helping me figure that out.
So let me ask you this, Paige. If I were to ask you who is Paige King Johnson, what would you tell me?
How much time do you have?
I've got all the time in the world. So, all right. So I'm walking up and go, Paige King. Who? Tell me about Paige King Johnson. Who are you?
Yeah. Well, I mean, it all starts with like your values. And so I think anybody who listens to random three songs of mine, whatever they chose, I think that they're going to hear notes of how much I value like family and how much I value the small communities that I was raised in. And also how important my faith is to me. And so that is something that I hope is portrayed in everything, not just in my music, but in podcasts that we do and in songs that I write and videos that come out and everything like that. It's so important that that is an underlying theme across everything for me. And so, whenever I put my hat on for the day to do whatever I'm doing, I have to constantly remind myself of like, okay, these are the things that you believe in, and these are the things that you want portrayed in what you're doing. So how do we do that today? Um, and I think that's important for anybody who's, whether you're a musician or whatever you are
Mhm.
going through,
Yeah, true.
Everyday life. It's important.
Mhm. So when you woke up this morning and you put that hat on to take on the day, did you go, "Oh my God, Skip happens today. How am I going to deal with this?" Is that what you say?
No, I was so happy because I hadn't seen you in forever.
I know it's been a little bit. It's been a little bit. So tell me about the Christmas holiday at the Paige King Johnson household.
Well, this year is going to look a little different because we're moving. Um,
Right in the middle
but
of the holidays.
yeah, I know, right?
Yeah.
I told you we must hate ourselves or something. No, but it's a time for me. I give myself permission to slow down,
Mhm.
which I so desperately need. And I need to give myself that permission way more often than I do. But um, so I only have 4 more shows between now and the end of the year.
Okay.
And I start slowing down on shows so that I can spend more time at home and kind of like catch up and breathe and get ready for the holidays. And truly, like, especially after I've started, hitting the road so much that I do now. Um, all the holidays are to me now is just being able to spend time with people I love and
Most
catching back up with people that I hadn't seen in a long time, and trying to keep alive some of the traditions that I had whenever I was little with my family, but also trying to, as a married family now, we're trying to figure out what those traditions are for ourselves and establish those. But, I could care less about any kind of gift that I get.
you're
I'm
so
just
sweet.
grateful to be able to spend some time with people, usually around a table with food that I've
Yeah.
had a hand in making, and,
Oh my God.
be able to make those memories.
What's your favorite thing to make? What do you bring to the table?
What do I bring to the table?
Well, you know what I mean, in the way of food. In the way of food.
Um, I have such a sweet tooth. I love to bake. And every year at Thanksgiving and Christmas, I am asked to bring an apple dapple cake.
An apple dapple cake?
Apple dapple cake.
What
And if
is
you've
an
never
apple?
had one,
I've
so
never had.
you make it in like a bundt pan. It's kind of
Okay.
like pound cake-ish, but it has apples and pecans like mixed in it.
Oh,
And then
that's
you
called
make
a bundt pan. Those are the round ones. I thought it was a
Mhm.
like I always
With
thought they were called a butt.
a bundt pan. Different kind of cooking there.
We don't need to go there. So it's a bundt pan. Are they
A
the
bundt,
round ones with the hole in the middle?
right?
So like
Yep.
you make an angel food cake
Mhm.
or whatever. My mom used to do that. But go ahead.
Yep.
Okay. Okay.
So that's what you make it in, and then you make like a cream cheese icing to go on top of it, and it's delicious.
I love anything apple.
Mhm.
I'm a
It's
huge apple pie lover. A homemade apple pie.
Mhm.
I can eat the whole pie.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, just give me the whole thing and give me a
Yeah.
fork and maybe put
Yeah.
some ice cream on top,
Yeah,
and I'm good.
exactly. And
Mhm.
just let me go. Don't
Yeah.
bother me. I'll have a
You can
drink.
tell we're hungry.
I know. Yeah, it's about that time. But you're on the East Coast. We're talking about time.
Yeah.
You're not in Nashville. You're in the Carolinas, right?
Yes, I
Yeah.
am.
Okay.
This week anyways. My schedule keeps me going back and forth, and people ask me all the time, they're like, "When you make meetings with me," and meetings, it's like when I schedule dinner to go get with a friend or something,
Mhm.
or if I need to call them about something and we're figuring out a time, they're like, "Why do you always put the time zone?" Because I live in 2 different ones all the time,
Right.
so I am
Right.
constantly letting people know, "Well, is this gonna be in Eastern Time or Central Time?"
You
Whether
have to do that. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
I
do the
do.
same thing here, Paige. It's like if I book somebody for the podcast, I have to put that down. You know how many artists we talk to in Nashville, and obviously they're an
Yeah,
hour behind. They're on Central Time. There's even some on the West Coast. So now
yeah,
there's that 3 hour time
yeah,
difference, which is like, okay, I want you on at 8, but that's actually dinner time, your time, five
yeah.
o'clock, blah, blah, blah. So yeah, I know that's important. Don't laugh about it. It's important.
I know, people need to they need to hang out
You
with you
just
so
need
they
to get
understand
it.
me a little bit better.
So what do you think your husband is buying you for Christmas?
I don't know,
You don't have to commit. You don't have to say anything. Did you
I've gotten asked this question quite a bit, and we, especially this year because we just bought a house. We both, kind of decided we don't need fancy things. Like if you want to spend $40 on something nominal just so that we have something to exchange on our own, that's perfectly fine. But the same with him. Like, we're constantly going. He's got a big boy job and I'm on the road all the time. And so it always feels like we're ships in the night. So around this time, I'm like, can we just set aside 1 or 2 nights where we can have like intentional time spent together and we can cook supper at home and like no TVs, no nothing. Let's just like be with each other. And that honestly, the same thing. That's the best gift I could get. So,
and
but if you're listening, honey, I like shiny things too.
Same. Actually, we talk about everything. So I like shiny things too, but my wedding band is actually rubber.
Yeah. He wears those all the time. He loves them.
Go on Amazon. They're $9.99. Just saying. He
does, because on top of being a realtor, he's also an auctioneer. And so he's constantly picking up different things and working around equipment and all the things. I'm like, I don't want to have to take you to the fire station to get your real wedding ring cut off. So you better wear those silicone ones.
I had to have mine cut off. And that's
Did you?
So that's what made me go, you know what? I mean, for the amount of money people spend on these things. Now I understand from, being a woman and you like to have.
Right. Yeah.
But if you're working in an industry that, for example, your husband being an auctioneer as well as other things, I'm in radio and I'm dials
gear all the time. Yeah.
Always in the way. So this way, it just, you don't even know it's there and it's soft and it's fine.
Wait, okay. What's the story about how your wedding ring got caught though?
Well, just as I got older, my fingers got bigger and the ring wouldn't come off. So we had to go and just have it cut off. It was easy. I mean, it took 2 seconds, but.
But was it so heart wrenching as you were watching them cut your wedding band in two?
No.
Okay. Sorry, I asked.
No, because it hurt. You know what I mean? It's like it hurt.
That.
And I had to get it off. So I still have it upstairs on my dresser, but it hurt. So once it was off, I felt relieved. It's nothing more than, okay, my finger feels normal again.
Right.
Now I got this. Actually, they come 2 in a pack. So I'm just saying, I have it and it's great. But your husband being an auctioneer, that's what your dad does, right?
Yeah, it is.
And they have the farm. Now, do you still perform on the farm?
Yeah, I actually just finished a Christmas show out on some of my parents' land. We usually do an outdoor Christmas show every year. Nice. Which is always something that we look forward to. It feels very nostalgic because we put up all these fancy string lights and decorate trees and everything. So yeah, it's always fun to be able to get to come home and, play to a hometown crowd. There's nothing like.
Well, your hometown, I'm sure, loves you. And I don't know why they wouldn't. So they got to be so proud of you. Have you ever thought about taking your talents to any of those reality television shows? We got Idol, we got The Voice, you got, different shows.
I think there's a time and place for those shows. And I've had a lot of friends who have gotten a lot of success on them.
Sure.
I don't think it's personally for me, but, never say never.
I get it. Totally get it.
So, yeah, I get it all the time. If I had $1 for every time somebody said, well, why don't you go on blah, 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 I wouldn't need to do music no more.
No, you'd be all set. You'd be all set. If I were to take a trip to the Carolinas to go visit you and I drive into your hometown, what's going to be the first thing I see? First of all, what is your hometown? What's the name?
Angier.
Angier, that's right. I think I remember that when I sent you the Skip Happen mugs.
Mm-hmm.
I think I did.
Let's see.
Did you throw those out yet, or do you still have them?
No, I still have them.
Okay.
Actually, I'm pretty sure it's at my mom's house, and
Okay.
she drinks coffee out of it quite often.
Love it. Love it. So Angier, it's North Carolina.
It is.
All right. So I'm driving into town. What's going to be the first thing I see?
Well, if you
I'm
come
on the main road. So
one side of town, so we have
I'm coming from the north
of 2 intersections. I don't know when you come from the north. I don't know which way's north. Actually, yeah, I do. When you come from north, you're gonna pass by the old people's home.
doesn't have a name.
No, it does. I can't remember what the name of it is at the moment.
Okay. All right. So
Um,
I drive in. There's the old people's home. I give
Yeah,
a
so if
wave.
you come in from the west, you're going to drive right past the gas station. If you come in from the east, you're going to pass the law office. And if you come in from the south, you're going to pass a
Walmart?
barbecue place. No, we don't have Walmarts.
You don't have a Walmart?
No, sir. We have to drive 15 to 20 minutes to get
What?
to a Walmart.
No, there's a Walmart on every corner in most towns. Well,
No, that's Dollar General. That's what we have,
you're
sir. Dollar
we have a
General.
lot of Dollar Generals here in the Northeast. We obviously have a lot of Walmarts, and where there's a Walmart, there's a Target.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's like you got to go to town to go to Walmart.
Wow. So you're a little ways out then. All right,
Yeah,
interesting.
we got 2 stoplights and a McDonald's.
That's the most important thing.
Yep.
Is your McDonald's open 24 hours?
No.
Okay. Not that you know of.
Yeah, I don't patronize the Walmart at 3 a.m., so I couldn't tell you.
No, I know. I hear you. I hear you. So, all right. I thank God. That is the song that's out. If somebody wants to get a hold of it, where do they go?
Anywhere you listen to music,
Okay.
Spotify, Apple Music. There's a lyric video on my YouTube channel
Mm-hmm.
and an insider hint for all the Skip Happens listeners. We have a music video that's going to be coming at the top of the year as well too. So we're excited about that.
I had a video. Oh, that was a lyric video.
Mm-hmm.
Ah, okay. So that's available right now on YouTube if you
Yep.
search Paige King Johnson. I thank
Yeah.
God. Plus, you'll get all the other songs too.
Yeah.
You might get the Christmas stuff and all that.
Yeah.
Yeah. How many people at your Christmas dinner?
Uh,
You go to mom's house, right? Mom and dad's house, and that's where you
we do, but the biggest one is probably at my grandparents' house.
Okay.
And there will be, everybody's now got married or got significant others. So there's probably like 18 or 19.
Dang. Yeah.
Yeah, and like it doesn't sound like a lot, but when you squish all of them into, your grandparents' older home and they have the heat set on 73, it's a lot.
It's like,
Yeah, we're all like opening doors and turning the heat
yeah,
down. We're like,
yeah.
hey, you go next and turn it down 1 more degree.
I love it. And being not really a newlywed, but still a newlywed, you get the question like, so are you thinking about starting a family? How often do you I mean, that's where it's going to come up. It's going to come up at a dinner table like that.
Yeah,
Or it's
it
going to
does.
be,
Yeah,
well, Paige, how's the music thing going? I'm just,
yeah.
you get that, right?
Oh yeah, all the time. Another thing that if I had $1 for every time, I'd be a rich woman. Especially now that my sister, I told you earlier, I have a 1-year-old
Oh,
niece.
that's
So
so
now that my
awesome.
sister started having babies, everybody's like, well, when's your time? I'm like, well, when's your time? Okay. Let me live my life.
Remember, you never answer a question with a question, and you just did. I'm just saying. That's good. It's throwing it right back at him. I love it.
Lord.
I love it. So when I just totally lost my train of thought, but it's all right. It'll come back. It happens when you get to be my age.
You're not old.
Okay. I have 8 grandkids. Just saying. Been doing radio for 40 plus years.
No. Well, you were 5 when you started.
I did.
Right?
I was still
Yeah.
wearing diapers when I
Yeah.
started. I was the baby DJ. No. But anyways, the music, you're putting it out, you're doing your thing. How are you gonna have a studio in your home?
Yeah, I'm actually sitting I'm in our old house right now. And I have a little office in here. I'm looking at the
Nice.
piano right here and a guitar's hanging up on the wall. And I have some recording stuff over there. So yeah, I'm excited. We're gonna have that in the new house too.
I think most do.
You have to, because inspiration will hit you at the most unexpected time. And
ask.
if you don't have a way to be able to capture that, then it's gone, and then you're kicking yourself for 5 years.
So
That you lost it.
being an artist and you're a writer and all that, when you have that inspiration or when something comes to you, what's the best way that you can remember that? I mean, let's say you're driving, you can't write it down. That's where I was going. So you record and you say it into your phone, and there it is.
Yep, absolutely. That
These
is one of
songs.
the best inventions ever.
Yeah. It kind of
You know?
controls your life, but I get it.
Oh,
But
yeah,
for that,
so well,
it's
I
yeah,
meant more so like the recording
I
feature.
know, I know. Exactly right.
It
Exactly.
has saved my butt a lot of times, and also it just provides for, um, some good laughter every once in a while because, I'm sure as a lot of creatives will vouch for,
Mhm.
sometimes you'll be woken up at, like, 2:30 with this hit song number 1 idea that you just know is gonna go off the charts, and so you're, like, halfway asleep and you're and then you go back to sleep, and you wake up in the morning and you're like, "What kind of hard drugs did I do before I went to bed?"
I see here your husband now going, "What the hell were you talking about last night? You were talking in your sleep with your phone in."
Whenever I wake up and then I remember like, "Oh, I woke up in the middle of the night last night and I had a song idea," and I go back and listen to it and I'm like, "That would not pass in a deaf person's music library. Like, what is happening?"
Oh my God. Paige, where do you see yourself in 5 years?
Uh, that's a hard
I know
thing
it
to
is.
try to figure out. Um, hopefully still enjoying music. People ask me all the time, they're like, what is your career gonna look like? I'm like, well, does anybody know what their career is gonna look like? But um I just hope that I'm still enjoying music and that it's still like, fueling my soul
Mhm.
and that I'm creating stuff that means something to other people. And if that's the case, then it'll still be the best job in the world. And hopefully, being able to play a lot of different places. I love the traveling part of my job. It takes me away from people I love, but it helps me meet a whole lot of different people that I would have never met before.
That's true.
Um, so hopefully, playing some international shows maybe too, and getting to
Mhm, mhm.
go to places that I've never seen before.
Do
And
you, ever get to go overseas? Have you done
no,
that
I've
before?
never. The
So
only I've
far, country.
played in Belize
Okay.
right before the shutdown
Okay.
of COVID, and that was the first I guess that's international, yeah,
Yeah, I mean, it's
um,
out of here.
show that I've ever played.
Mhm. But I talk to a lot of independent artists that, actually they'll go and play, like, in Ireland,
Mhm.
they'll play in England, in those areas, and the crowd is just so welcoming to
Mhm.
American country artists. They pack the place, and they love the music. That's why I
Yeah,
was asking.
they say that they love country music over there, so that's a goal. I
Nice.
want to be able to go over there and just visit the places anyways, and, having a couple of gigs is a good excuse to fast track that visit.
And it does write it off. So if you weren't doing country music, what would you be doing? What do you
Uh,
think you would be doing?
when I was little, kinda going back to the whole cooking thing, what I bring to the table, um, I always thought that I wanted to be a baker.
Alright.
Because I love baking at home. I just love, being able to use my hands and come up with stuff. And so I always thought that I wanted to open a bakery whenever I was really little before music, became a thing in my life. And my mama quickly told me that I wouldn't make it as a baker because I didn't like early mornings.
Well, she might have a point because, they make the donuts at 4 a.m. So I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Well,
So,
I have a thought. I have a thought. I have
yeah.
a thought. All right. It doesn't happen that often, but I have a thought. So
Okay.
Paige King Johnson should do like a podcast type thing where you
Okay.
cook your apple dapple
Apple cake.
cake and you go through it step by step, throw it in the oven while it's
Uh,
cooking. You sing a song, then you afterwards you bring it out, and here you go. This is what we did
Do a
this week.
little concert? Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
it'd have to be a long song because the apple dapple
Well,
cake takes 50 minutes.
it's called editing. Just let's just do the long version of
Oh, that's what they do.
he cracked me up. Oh my god. Yeah, but think about it. Think
I
about what you could
should. I
do.
should do like a little
And you
Christmas
could,
podcast.
there you go. You do it. And, maybe do a couple during the week leading up to the holiday or whenever.
Yeah.
And you cook your favorite Christmas cookie. You go through, this is how I do it. This is what I do, blah, blah, blah. And it goes in the oven for 20 minutes. Hey, I'm going to sing you my new blah, 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 or I thank God, just being an example. And then, of course, with the wonders of recording it, then editing it, you can come right back and go, here we are. We're pulling it out. It's like those TV cooking shows. Right?
Yes.
They
Yes.
pull
I'd
the
be
whole-
like Rachel Ray. That's always what I wanted to be, was Rachel Ray.
Well, see, Paige, there's an opportunity. Serious. I'm being serious here. You could take your talents, singing, songwriting, and all that. You love to bake, put them together, send me a pie, and we're happy.
Yeah. Yeah, we're good. I'll make this is actually Skip's apple pie, so I can't test it to make sure that it tastes
You could put
good.
my name on it if you want. Just don't call it Skip Happens. Well, no, you could. You could actually. That would be pretty good, I think. No, it's just an idea. I'm sorry. I'm just.
It is. Yeah, let us know below. Do you want me to do a bacon podcast?
Yeah, that's right. I think you should.
Yeah. Things to ponder.
Paige, you're
in
awesome.
all of my free time.
It's the holidays. You're going to be home. You could even have your hubby in the background going, okay, this is my husband's favorite pie. This is he likes the apple dumpling cake in the butt pan and all that. So I'm just, think about it.
You got it. You got it.
I'm being serious.
I will. We'll have a chat after this. What's the branding angle of this?
Cooking with Johnson.
Cooking with Johnson. There we go.
I don't know. Paige King Johnson. If somebody wanted to go online and get your stuff, what's your website?
PaigeKingJohnson.com and all the social media. I'm just Paige King Johnson.
You got it. Check her out, please. In the new song, I Thank God. Definitely, it's going to go somewhere if it hits the right stream. That's going to be cool.
Well, thank you.
It's going to be very cool. I appreciate you. Great seeing you. Have a great holiday season. I know this is being, if somebody watches it next June, it's going to be kind of weird, but still, we're leading into the holidays. Here we go. And just you and your husband and the families and mom and dad, everybody, just enjoy your holiday, Paige. Thanks for joining us.
Y'all too. And tell the fam I said hello.
I will. Zach would love to know that I talked to you. Believe me, he still mentions your name.
Oh, I miss that boy.
He takes over, I'll tell you. Anyways, all right. We'll talk to you soon. Thanks for joining us.